Oh, it's time for the absolutely, completely random podcast. That's right, it's the absolutely, completely random podcast. It's a podcast about all the crazy stuff out on the internet. And your host, Andrew, will tell you about it in his own special way. From anime to video games and everything in between. Like those movies and those TV shows and the eBay sellers that just make you want to scream. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's the absolutely, completely random podcast. That's right, it's the absolutely, completely random podcast. So sit back and relax, 'cause it's time for the absolutely, completely random podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast for Saturday, July 29, 2017. It's finally the end of July. Thank God, for starters. But anyway, what did you think of my new intro? Possibly permanently new intro. I don't know. Remember, this podcast is random. Anything can happen. But anyway, I just started humming the tune before I started recording, and I'm like, I want to try to incorporate that into the podcast. It has no music, it's a cappella, but let me know in the comments below if you like it. But if you've been following me on Twitter, by the way, at Toyko Metro on Twitter, you know I have been waiting for this week's episode for so many reasons. And here's the topics that I got this week. Women in Portugal are forming a real-life Keijo team. That's right, real-life Keijo teams are actually coming in Portugal. Walmart dropped the bomb big time for the SNES Classic. Oh man, I can't wait. I want to talk about the Ready Player One trailer that dropped last weekend, or sometime last week I should say. It was a really good trailer. Sunrise has decided to ask its readers to choose which of its works most deserves a sequel. I can think of about 16 of them, but sure, we'll go with that. Some sad news to report. Animator / director Shoichi Masuo passed away at the age of 57. That's really young, too. Damn. In Western Japan, the real-life Mecha Holy of Haruhi Suzumiya Cafe is reopening. Oh, we all know that anime series. You're not an otaku unless you know that series. You have to at least watch an episode or two of that series to even call yourself an otaku in this day and age. Shonen Jump has created original posters for each of Toyko Metro's 171 stations. That's impressive. The Emoji Movie blows! Yes, that's right. In the immortal words of Jay Sherman, it stinks. It stinks. It stinks. And the fans aren't happy about it at all. And the Pokemon Go event last weekend was a disaster. And I'm going to be talking about that. That's going to be a huge chunk because I got a lot to talk about with that. That's really good. But, as always, you know the drill. ARHOADS hyphen 2012. I just had to catch my drink. It almost fell. That's kind of bad. But anyway, you know the drill. ARHOADS hyphen 2012 on eBay for all your collectible trading card oddity needs. Come on, you know it by now. I don't have to do it every single week. But you can also follow me on Twitter at Toyko Metro. So, let me do a little life update this week before we get into everything. It's been a long week. Did I mention long? I don't think I mentioned long. First off, an update to a topic I talked about last week in my life. The guild that I'm a part of in my Lord's mobile game has survived we're not going to get disbanded automatically because we have less than 11 members. Woohoo! So I finally have a place to call home. And then today I kind of pissed off another guild by accident. Well, okay, not really by accident. They took a monster I was hunting, and when I scouted the person that took it, the entire guild considered it an act of war, and apparently the leader of the guild that I'm in got viciously attacked, and I really feel responsible. But I feel responsible, but I didn't openly do anything. All I did was scout him. But apparently that opened up war in the guild's eyes. Oh, well, to hell with them. But anyway, that's pretty much been my week. 3 days of work this week. Not very pleasant though on Friday. It was kind of hot. But otherwise, I've been doing pretty good. Nothing really interesting. Nothing really exciting. So, let's get into the podcast and let's get into the week, shall we? Alright, so let's start off with the Portugal women forming their real-life Keijo teams. This is actually kind of cool. What's ironic is I just got into Keijo this year. I've actually watched 2 episodes. And I can hear you fans and screaming at me now, but you call yourself an otaku, you only watched 2 episodes. Yeah, because when I came upon it, it fell into a time of, I have 16 other things I need to do right now, and watching an anime series sadly had to take a back seat because the others were a pressing priority. But I will have some time coming up, hopefully, so I'll be able to watch it. It's not really that difficult to do. Just got to pull up on Crunchyroll. But anyway, last year's sports series Keijo was a unique take, combining sumo with floating arenas. Yeah, not to mention bathing suits, women. Oh yeah, and let's not forget you can't use your arms or legs to knock somebody off the floating thing. You got to use your breasts or your butt. Let's just talk about that for a moment. Yeah, that's definitely a guy's manga and a guy's anime series. And I can hear, I suddenly realize I'm about to lose about all my female viewers. And I apologize in advance. But oh yeah, and all the moves were based around weaponized TNA. Yep, I just said that. I'm reading off the article. That's pretty cool. But Keijo was great for walking the line of shonen sports manga themes. And this is something that's ironic. I'm really not that big a fan of sports series, especially in manga and anime form. I could not get into Eye Shield. I could not get into any, what was that one? 11, I think it was, the soccer one. I couldn't get into that. I'm just not, when I hear the word shonen, I do not imagine the word sports following behind it. When I hear shonen, I'm picturing fantasy worlds, or slice of life, or real life, stuff. I'm not picturing sports. In all honesty, I'm not. And that's what bothers me. But anyway, trading sequences of all this stuff. Like I said, I've only gotten like 2 episodes in. But anyway, the Keijo Portugal, a new sports league accepting applicants ages 16 or older to go toe-to-toe, or in this case, butt-to-butt, in a battle for supremacy. So let's hope that, this could become a summer Olympic sport here. Where are the next summer games going to be held? Oh yeah, Tokyo! Oh yeah, that's ironic. I just thought of that. That's ironic. The next summer games will be held in Tokyo. Yeah, let's have a Keijo, let's have a Keijo. I just snapped, something to kind of make me remember something. Yeah, let's have a Keijo, Olympic sport. Yeah, that'll go over well. But anyway, the group is currently working out the kinks to make the sport actually playable. So don't expect any nipple judo here. Aw. The participants are shown wearing padded gear on an inflatable trampoline floating in an indoor pool. Well, yeah, that would make sense. Of course, you're going to have some type of safety, because if you're getting knocked off, you can get delirious. And if you go into the water, it's going to cause problems. I can't swim, for starters. I don't know how. I float, literally. If they ever outlaw wading in pools, I officially am screwed. Because that's all I do. I wade in a pool. If they ever outlaw that, that's it. I'm done. I can't swim to save my life. There you go. You learned something new about me. So, the initial rules will have 4 to 6 players compete simultaneously for 5-minute rounds. Players can only attack one another using their hips and chest, and players are disqualified by either falling down or out of the arena into the water. The platform can only be touched by competitors' feet. So in other words, if they knock you down and your hand hits, which first off is an automatic instinct by human nature. If you fall, you are going to put your hands down to try to catch you. Every single person does this. Even when we're very tiny, we do this. So it's not exactly something that's uncommon. So that's going to open up a lot of disqualifications right off the bat. Let's see here. Team matches will pit 4 versus 4 or 3 versus 3 and last for 10 minutes. A team is declared the winner when all of the other players on the other team are eliminated. So in other words, it's the last one standing. No information yet as to how long this is going to take for them to get all the kinks worked out. Could I see other countries doing this? Yeah, actually I could. I could honestly see some other countries doing this. This would make I'm going to be honest with you. The Summer Olympics the last couple years have sucked. I haven't even bothered watching them. Fact to be, when they had it, how was it? Sydney? No, Rio. God, it was Rio. I just had to think where the last Summer Olympics were, and I just remember the big controversy about it was Rio. I couldn't even watch any of it. Besides the fact that we weren't really trying to do any television or anything, we were kind of trying to give it up. And I think when it came around, we did give it up. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, we did, because my mom watched it on her laptop. She tried watching the opening ceremony. That's right. But anyway, the events in the last couple Summer Olympics have sucked. Let's face it. The Olympics are going downhill. This, I could honestly see being an Olympic sport. If you can actually make this real, if you can figure out rules, work out all the kinks, all the bugs, I can honestly see this becoming an actual sport that could actually be played. If you're doing it in indoor pools, it's a sport that could be played year-round. So you could literally be, watching this in the middle of a snowstorm in winter. Okay, well, maybe not the middle of a snowstorm, but still, you get what I'm going with here. Anyway, I definitely think this is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to this if it could actually work. I would love, personally, if this does work out, and this would become an Olympic sport, I would love to see the U.S. versus Japan. Have like 6 members on one thing, one each from different countries. That would be amazing to see which one could actually hold their own. That would be pretty cool to see. But anyway, we won't really know what's going to happen. There's no information. I personally am hoping this works out, not just because I'm a guy, but because this is how I think sports should start to evolve. We should start trying to figure out ways to get asses into seats, eyes to the screens, and start figuring out a way to actually make sports more entertaining. You can't just constantly say that, oh, this is the sport and it's boring as hell and people are going to watch it. The same old thing doesn't work forever. Same old story, same old song and dance doesn't work that well. So, there you go. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you, but I am. So Walmart dropped the ball big time on something. Pre-orders for the SNES Classic Edition. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with what this is the follow-up to Nintendo's NES Classic Edition, featuring the Super Nintendo and not the original Nintendo. We all remember how well that thing sold last year, because it sold out and it became a pain in the ass to get. Scalpers were all over eBay and Amazon with them. Happily, eBay and Amazon are putting their foot down. And some cases, eBay's actually sticking their foot up the reseller and scalpers' asses, which has Pat the NES Punk happy. I have to admit, it has me happy too. But anyway, Walmart cancels SNES Classic Edition pre-orders and claiming a technical glitch made it appear. That'd be kind of interesting, but here we go. So seemingly out of nowhere, a product page for Nintendo's upcoming SNES Classic went live on Walmart.com, complete with a pre-order button. Okay. The Twitterverse lit up with people trying to share the news before the reseller caught on. And come on, let's think about it. In this age of social media, it's not going to take them long to put 2 and 2 together. When you use hashtag Walmart's got it, someone's going to find that fast. I guarantee you Walmart probably have a team of somebody that literally watches social media accounts, for hashtags and goes, hey, whoa, somebody's tweeting about us. Put a stop to it. Yes, sir, right away. And then you have other places that was like, well, somebody's tweeting about us. Put a stop to it. Yes, ma'am, right away. So you know that this probably happens. But anyway, if you didn't get your pre-order in, it's okay. No one is getting them. Walmart canceled all the pre-orders, claiming a technical glitch caused the page to appear before they intended it to appear. Word of cancellation comes from an email sent to customers in the afternoon. I actually do have that up. Hold on one second. I know I have that. Just give me a minute, because it was an image, and I saved the image. Where did I put it? Where are you? Let's see here. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. There it is. I knew I had it in here somewhere. There we go. 1 second. Okay. Had to make it a little darker so I could read it. Okay. This was basically an image of the letter that was sent out. So here's what it says. Thank you for your interest in the Super Nintendo Entertainment System Classic Edition. As you are aware, this is a highly sought-after console that will launch later this fall. No shit, Sherlock! Unfortunately, due to a technical glitch, the Super Nintendo Classic Edition was mistakenly made available last Friday evening ahead of the official release date. We regrettably will have to cancel this item on your order. We know that this is incredibly disappointing to you, and we're truly sorry for this mistake. Are you? Are you really? In regards to the cancellation of the item, if you paid by credit card, your card has not been charged, and the authorization holds placed on your account will automatically expire in accordance with the card issue's policy. If you paid through PayPal or with a gift card, your payment will be refunded when the order is canceled. The official launch date for this item is September 29th, 9/29. Please check the product page on Walmart.com prior to that date for any updates. I do hope you'll give us another chance to earn back your business. Warm regards, it's Desiree Dunlally, Senior Director, Customer Care, Walmart.com. So that's kind of interesting. For starters, this is the company line. I guarantee you that they have templates made up for life. Because this almost seems like it was just copy and pasted right from a template and mass emailed out to everybody. Because every time I complain to some place, I get what I consider the company line, which is, in my opinion, a literal template that they just copy and paste with the answer to any possible questions that could come up. Those questions being, oh, well, blah, 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 this or blah, 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 that. So it kind of sucks that nobody will be getting their hands on this. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad. Could you imagine what scalpers would be doing with this information if this would actually be coming out now? But my question, though, is, because now you're going to have people wondering, well, is it going to be safe to order on Walmart.com with this? Because if it was a technical glitch, how do we know that it was a technical glitch and it wasn't Walmart getting hacked? Or how do we know Walmart didn't purposely do this just to cover their own ass? Questions that, while valid, I will give them that, are questions that I don't think anyone could possibly answer. Mostly because no one's going to have an answer for any of this. They canceled the pre-orders, so as far as they're concerned, you don't have to pay for it. You're not getting charged for it. Though, if you actually understand how PayPal works, you actually might be losing money. At least depending on how they're going to be doing the fees and all that. Sometimes I don't really lose any. If I get a refund, I get exactly what I paid. But other times, like if it's something small, they might have to pay depending on what the business is or something. I'm not 100% sure because I do read those terms of service agreements, especially under fees. That I scour with a fine-tooth comb. But anyway, it is sad that Walmart had to cancel all the pre-orders, but at the same time, this gives you more of a better chance to clean off a spot where it's going to go in your living room or your den or next to your TV. Gives you plenty of time to save up some of the cash because this thing is going to have a hefty price tag on it. I mean, let's face it, and there's not going to be a lot of them. I mean, I know Nintendo's claiming that they're going to make more than they did of the original NES Classic Edition that they only had out limited. They never said it was going to be limited. The SNES, they have said it's going to be limited. So it's still a matter of how many are going to be out there, how easy is it going to be to come across them. And all in all, I don't see this ending exactly like everybody hopes. But in Walmart's case, for now, all the pre-orders have been canceled, and the buyers will be getting their money back. And in the end, that's really all that counts, is that they've righted the wrong. However it happened, they've righted the wrong. And that's really, like I said, all that counts. Anime, manga, movies, video games, technology. What better way to spend an hour than with somebody that wants to talk about these things, right? If you like any of that, check out the Absolutely Completely Random podcast, only on YouTube. New episodes are uploaded every Sunday. Some sad and somber news was brought up this week. Animator and director Shoichi Masuo, and I do apologize profusely if I am mispronouncing that. It's Shoichi Masuo. Sadly, has passed away at the age of 57. Worked on Macross, Do You Remember Love, and several Gainax projects. That might be why I've never heard of him. No offense to Gainax, they do some wonderful things from time to time, but let's face it, they're not one of the big heavy hitters. Directed Submarine 707R, never heard of it. Demon Bane, never heard of it. Yeah, never heard of it. Studio Kahara announced on Wednesday that the animator and director passed away on Monday at 11:36 a.m. while under medical care for an unspecified illness. While they even have his time, the time of death. Man, that's... You know, my grandmother died on a Monday. She was about 11:37 in the morning, give or take. Because there's a bit of a discrepancy between when she did pass and when the doctors pronounced her, so... You know, but anyway, that's kind of interesting. That's kind of neat. They actually have the time on here. That's something rare. I've never seen that with a lot of these announcements of, hey, you know, this person died. Well, what time did they die? Oh, no, this is the date that they died. They don't usually tell you the time. That's kind of nice that they actually told you the time. He died before noon. He was 57. His close relatives were going to hold a private wake and funeral service. So, yeah, it's not going to be open to the public. Then again, in all honesty, what animator or director would really want to be in the public eye at a funeral? I mean, I guarantee you, even when Akira Toriyama passes, when that day hopefully never comes, at least make it be like another 50, 60 years off, I guarantee you it's gonna be a quiet ceremony, privacy, nobody's gonna be there except for family and close friends. That's gonna be it. Nobody in the world is going to be able to see it. It's not going to be televised, which would be sad because he's really touched a lot of people. But then again, apparently so is this one. Masuo, and I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing it, is a noted key animator who specialized in mechanical and effect animation. He started out as an animator in Studio Giants, working on such anime as Sengoku Majin Gashogun, never heard of it. He was the assistant animator director for the 1984 film The Super Dimension Fortress Macross, Do You Remember Love? That one I think... now that I hear the whole title, I might have actually seen clips of that online. Where he met future Gainax co-founder Hideki Anno on the film's key animation staff. After working on Project Eiko in 1986 as a key animator and mecha animation director, he moved to Gainax, where he worked as assistant director for Royal Space Force, The Wings of Honosame, never heard of it, as key animator, technical director, and mechanical designer for such anime as Gunbuster, Otaku no Video. That one I actually heard of. At least I've seen clips of it. Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, Neon Genesis Evangelion, which I better damn well know that one. I also better damn well know His and Her Circumstances. I did own a couple volumes of that in DVD before I got rid of them. And Gunbuster 2, Die Buster. I didn't even hear the original one, so how would I have known of the sequel? He also worked on anime outside of Gainax, such as Akira. Oh, I better know that one. I own the 25th anniversary edition. I better know that one. And Giant Robo. Never heard of it. He is credited for mecha design for the Irresponsible Captain Tyler. Or Taylor. No, Tyler. T-Y. No, be Taylor. T-Y-L-O-R. And the animation supervisor and mechanical director for the Six Angels film. Never heard of it. He directed such anime as Crimson Wolf, Countdown, Submarine 707R, and Demon Bane. Never heard of any of them. When Anno left Studio Gainax and founded Studio Kahara to work on his new Evangelion anime films, which, by the way, they're good, but they're not great. I think I've said that before. Masuo followed as a key animator as well as special effects and action director up until the third and most recent film. Among his last credits were the storyboards for the Hiroki Demon of the Fleeting Blossom, Wild Dance of Kyoto film, and key animation for the Arpeggio of Blue Steel television anime. I cannot pronounce half these names, and that's really weird because I'm usually good with Japanese names, and I can't pronounce any of these this time. So yeah, it is sad. 57 years old. That means he really didn't have. That means he kind of, he had a lot more of his life left he could have lived. It's kind of sad. I mean, my mom's in her, she's in her late end of her 50s. So he could have definitely gone a long time yet. So that's really sad that he's gone. And he will be missed. I mean, I saw Neon Genesis Evangelion. I watched, I owned a couple volumes of His and Her Circumstances. It's not a good, I can actually say this, it's not a good anime series, because if you want something along that same line, you could get I, My, Me, Strawberry Eggs. You could get, what's that other one? God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh shit, I can't think of it. It's kind of sad, but either way, he'll be missed, definitely. Among anime fans, studio fanatics, otakus alike, he will be missed profusely. Rest in peace, and may, the afterworld treat you as nicely as the living world did. Alright, so, if you like Sunrise, and you like Sunrise works, and you think that there were some that deserve a sequel, well, good news. You have a chance. Sunrise has asked their readers to choose which of its works most deserves a sequel. Now, if only Funimation would get off their asses and do the same thing, they would actually be getting a few letters from me. How about, if it would be Funimation, how about series that could use a continuation? Case closed. Just for starters, The Devil is a Part-Timer. That would be nice. But anyway, plenty of fan websites ask its readers to pick which series is most deserving of a sequel. Whether it's an anime original work or any series that remains strong in viewers' hearts. If you clicked on either of those links, you might find one thing in common with the results. Fans really want more Tiger and Bunny. Hell, I'll agree on that. I like that. That was a good show. Well, Animation Studio Sunrise operates its own fan-targeted website called Yatate Bunko. That is a stupid name for a website. I thought ScrewMeOver.com was bad. That is horrible. No offense, Sunrise. That's really horrible. That's bad. And it asks the same question, albeit limited to works created by Sunrise themselves. If you still aren't following, Sunrise made Tiger and Bunny. No shit. So you can guess what this site's readers chose as number one. Yeah. The series was also crowned in the Anisong Top 100 and NHK's Best Anime Series of All Time. All the evidence is there, but all fans have gotten recently is a new voiced drama CD, because they're cheaper and easier to make. mean, in all honesty, that really is cheaper and easier to make. Drama CD, where you just have to have the voice actors talking and reading off a script, is a lot cheaper to make than an entire anime series where you have to hire animators, directors, and all that stuff. All you have to do with this, have them record the audio, basically pop it onto a CD, and put it in the store shelves. I mean, an idiot can do it with Windows, with a laptop that has a recorder. Hell, I could make a drama CD just the way I do stuff now. I would just need a filter to block out excess background noise, and I could make a drama CD. They're cheap and easy to make. The poll's second top choice is Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion, which was recently approved for a compilation film trilogy, and Code Geass Fukatsu no Lelouch. Code Geass Lelouch of the Resurrection sequel project, so at least someone's wishes were granted. I actually like Code Geass, so I'm still on the fence about it. Whether or not this revival of it, the sequel's going to be any good, I'm on the fence about it. But if it's still got the nightmare frames in it, sign me up. The plot was second nature as far as I was concerned. I was there for the robots. Sorry. But anyway, third choice was Cybrain, Puzzle of God, the 3-season puzzle adventure series that aired from 2011 to 2013. This is the full list. I'm going to go from bottom up here, because I actually kind of like how some of these go. So, number 10 is Gear Fighter Dendo. Never heard of it. Number 9, Escryed. Please, I would love a sequel to Escryed. Hell, sign me up for that. Zigapane. I've actually seen it. I don't own it. I've watched it online. I have watched it, though, but it is good. Definitely. Buddy Complex. And never heard of it. Idol Master Xenogalasa. If I couldn't pronounce it, I haven't heard of it. Kazen Shuri Daiteo. Nope. That was number 5, by the way. Number 4 is Valvure the Liberator. Valvure the Liberator. Okay, I guess that's how it's pronounced. Either way, no. Cybrain, number 3. Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion, number 2. And Tiger and Bunny's number 1. Now, like I said, Tiger and Bunny I would definitely like to see a sequel for. So many unanswered questions. So many things they could do with that. I mean, they didn't even take on the judge, who turns out that he's the one that's hunting down all the superheroes. So that's definitely one that they could improve, that they could have a sequel on. Really, give us more than just a crappy movie. I could definitely get behind, that being a sequel, and maybe giving Tiger back his powers to full strength. Maybe, have something that, hey, the more that you use the powers, the more of a tolerance, even though they started getting weaker, and you couldn't do it as long, then all of a sudden something happens and it's a massive surge. You can pretty much stay in, that mode for good, and for the life of me, I can't remember what his power was. I know what it was, but I can't remember what the name of it was. 100 power. It was the 100 power. That's it. She could have the 100 power go for maybe infinity, where you're always in that mode. Or they could figure out a way to make it so that he would always be in that mode. I don't know. But that's pretty cool. Staff members for the respective choices chimed in to thank fans. Several hinted at various projects that are in the works. For example, the head of Cybrain mentioned that the staff are working on a 5th anniversary project. The head of Kazen Shuri Daiteo said they are looking to see if they can do anything for the project's fans, and asked them to support the Zettai Mute Rajin-O Gojigin Teikoku no Gyakashu manga for now. And I was able to pronounce that in almost one whole breath. That's scary. But anyway, that's definitely entertaining. like I said, that'd be nice if Funimation would actually get off their ass and do a list of top 10. Hey, what series would you like us to make a sequel to? You know, we want to hear what our fans have to say. The question is, though, would any other anime studio really like to hear that, though? Because if it be Funimation, they're not going to like what I'm going to say. Case closed, case closed, case closed. You screwed it over halfway through season 5, you assholes. I want to see the rest of it. Then you got The Devil is a Part-Timer. Give us a second season. Give us a second season. God, there's a couple other ones. Oh, God. Oh, shit. There was one that they did, and I liked it so much, and I can't think of what the name of it was. But then you'd also have, like, Viz, which I could see a lot of people, if it were Viz, before Boruto came out, they probably would have said Naruto. Now I could see them saying Bleach, which, yeah, I could get behind that. You know, give us another Bleach or a sequel to Bleach. That would be great. Continuation, like, years later or something. I mean, they showed it in the manga series at the end of Bleach that Ichigo and Orihime had a son. So it's not entirely out of the question that, hey, he's got a kid. How come the kid, how come dad can't teach the kid how to do some of the cool stuff he could do? We already know the kid can become a Soul Reaper, has his own Zanpakuto, so let's see, let's go. Let's have that go as a series. But if Media Blasters... oh, boy! If Media Blasters would have a thing up for which anime series would you like us to make a sequel to, they don't want to get my response. I would like to see, well, even though they no longer hold the rights to it, but it would have been nice. I'd like to see somebody finish Bakuman, or at least get us past the first volume. I could easily buy that again on eBay. That's what's sad. Is that it's like $5 on eBay. I found a copy, brand new, $5 on eBay. Because everybody's got the first volume because it's the only one that came out. Oh. But no, seriously, that would be something neat that a few other sites should do. They should definitely come up with an idea to do that. In my opinion, it would definitely work out very well. In all honesty, this is definitely something that I think studios should have done from the start. They should have come out with ideas. Oh, well, here, we can make this a series. Or here, we can give this a sequel. Well, let's ask our fans. Because if you don't ask the fans... And I want to close off with this. I'm starting to ramble. If you don't ask the fans what the fans want, and you just spoon feed them what you think they want, you're not going to have the fans anymore. It's like trying to feed a cranky baby. The baby's not going to want to eat. So you're spoon feeding fans what you think they want, and they want to tell you what they want, but you're not listening. So, Sunrise, first off, I want to give you kudos for actually listening to your fans and possibly giving them what they want. That, first off, is very amazing. I'm very glad of that. But, yeah, this is something that all studios, in my opinion, should definitely be doing. Start it up next year if you want. Andrew. Hey, what better way to spend a Sunday, right? My name's Andrew Rhodes. I'm the host of the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast, where I talk about anime, movies, manga, technology, video games, any of those topics, from articles that I find throughout the week. New episodes of my podcast are uploaded here on YouTube every Sunday, so come check me out. You never know, you might learn something new. And hey, I always like making a new friend. Let's talk about emojis. And yes, I'm talking about those little annoying things that people like put on the end of their Facebook posts, and Twitter messages, and tweets, and all over the freaking web. Every time you send a freaking email anymore, you see a goddamn emoji. Well, they decided to try to make an Emoji Movie. As if all the merchandise they were selling wasn't bad enough. They tried making an Emoji Movie. Well, it released yesterday, And surprise, surprise, it sucks. Sony Pictures Animation's beautiful hidden inside a smartphone bustling city of Textopolis home movie called the Emoji Movie sadly tanks. Hour and 31 minutes. This thing sucks. It's like 16% actually liked the damn movie, and that's Google users. Right now it's holding at a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes, 9% on Metacritic, 3 out of 5 Common Sense Media. The sad part is they dragged Patrick Stewart into this, Christina Aguilera into this, not to mention a cavalcade of other people. But my favorite thing, besides the fact that fans are demanding their money back, at least there are a few moviegoers that were posting on Twitter that they actually walked back up after 20 minutes and demanded their money back, which you're allowed to do up to 30 minutes depending on the theater, at least that's what I was told. But anyway, here are some reviews, at least the Cliff Notes version of it. Okay, so we got the New York Times, Variety, and Vulture. So the New York Times says, and I quote, "The movie's believe in yourself message is borne out in a perverse way. But the very fact that it even exists, and yet the whole thing remains nakedly idiotic." Variety. "The execution isn't good enough to bring the notion of an emoji movie to funky, surprising life." And Vulture, this is one of my favorite. "It is one of the darkest, most dismaying films I have ever seen, much less one obsessively made for children." So needless to say, this movie tanked. It's only been out a day and it's tanked. $50 million US budget, Sony Media, Tony Leondis is directing, and it tanks. If this thing, it will be lucky if it breaks even. And that's saying something. But this cannot end well. If the movie's already sucking in theaters, critics are panning it, you throwing some good actors and actresses and good celebrities into this thing, into this train wreck. First off, Sony, I think you've officially lost any hope you have of reclaiming your audience. After that abysmal disaster that was The Interview, which some people hated, some people loved, I did not see it, nor do I plan to. Mostly for the fact that it's difficult as hell to find a copy anywhere, and I'm not planning to really watch it because I'm just not that big of a James Franco fan. I don't know why I can't stand him. I watched that 127 hours with him. I was rooting for death. I know he doesn't die in it. It's based off a true story, and the guy survives. But throughout it, I'm rooting for death to kill him. I don't know why. I'm just rooting for death to kill him. I'm just not that big of a James Franco fan. That being said, I do own a few movies that he's in, but I'm just not that big a fan of his. And I'm usually owning those either because of something else in it that caught my attention, or there's another actor in there that I'm watching the movie for. That's like one of the main characters, and it's not just Franco. I don't know why I can't stand him. I just can't stand him. I really don't. I don't know why I can't stand him. I just can't stand him. But anyway, the Emoji Movie's tanking. And in all honesty, I don't really seem surprised by it. It's a movie based on emoticons. What the hell can you do with that? They're emoticons. You've made an entire amount of merchandise based on them. Fine. Go with it. A movie, that's where somebody should have gotten up at that table and said, whoa, wait a minute. This is kind of idiotic. Look, we're making money with the merchandise. Let's not rock the boat here. If we do that, we're liable to piss off the fans and we won't have anything left. Are we really that greedy? And I guarantee you if somebody probably said that, they probably said, you know what, you're right. Took him or her by the shoulder and walked them out and goes, why don't you go out and come up with a better movie for us, okay? closed the door behind it, locked the door, and said, okay, that bastard or bitch is fired, and then went right back to work. I really don't mean it to sound that way, but in all honesty, when you see the reviews for this, the fact that people are hating it, this is basically turning into the Adventures of Pluto Nash. The only exception being that this is still playing in theaters, and the Adventures of Pluto Nash didn't make it through one showing. But anyway, it's kind of sad. Do I feel bad for it? Yes. It should have never been made. Personally, I think it's a joke that it was made. It seems like a joke that's just not funny anymore. It just doesn't want to die. It's not a funny joke. It's sad. And sadness and emoticons. There's a sad emoji, and that's what this movie should have just been based on. The sad emoji telling all the fans, should have just stood out there on screen for it's like an hour and a half, just stood there and went, why did you buy tickets for this? You do realize it sucks, right? That would have probably made a better movie. But all in all, this is tanking. It's going to be a flop. It's, okay, let's just add it to the list of other blockbusters for the summer that flopped. You got The Last Airbender, which should have never been made. You have, there's an entire list of them online. Watch Mojo did a list. The Last Airbender was on it. And a few dozen others should have just never been made. And what's funny is that I was not agreeing with some of them, but the more you think about it, yeah. But they keep throwing the Super Mario Brothers movie under that bus, and I actually liked the movie. I'll admit it, I liked the movie. If Bob Hoskins would still be alive, I would come right out and tell him, hey, that was a good movie. I enjoyed you in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I also enjoyed you in the Super Mario Brothers movie. And if he would go, oh God, you liked that? Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought that was funny. He'd probably be reaching for a bottle of hooch. But anyway, because apparently they were drunk. Him and John Leguizamo, multiple reports of them being drunk on the set of that movie. That's how they had to get through the filming of that, apparently. But anyway, I liked it. But this movie, the Emoji Movie, it's a stinker. And like I said, because this was how it came to my attention this morning, was that somebody on Twitter actually put up a picture of Jay Sherman and actually used the clip from the one episode of The Critic where he gave his speech about if a movie's bad, just don't go. If it's based on a TV show, watch the TV show. If it's a reboot, rent the classic. Just don't go. I was saying the same thing with the Power Rangers movie. Just don't go. It's based off of a classic series. Rent the classic, buy the classic series and watch that. Buy the first season and watch that. Just don't go. And the movie just, like I said, there's really nothing you can do with emoticons. What the hell are you going to do with emoticons for 90 minutes on a screen? That's what bothers me. But either way, it's tanking. I mean, this thing's sinking faster than the Titanic. It's sad, but it's inevitable. Sony, you got a stinker on your hands here. Big time. So from one movie that sucks, let's go to a movie that looks pretty good that's coming in the pipeline. Ready Player One. Now I saw the trailer for this last weekend after the podcast had ended. And I'm like, do I want to re-record a part for it and add it in? And I'm like, I'll save it for next week. And first off, I'm kind of glad I did. Because you need something good to balance out the bad. You need something good to balance out the ugly. Yin and yang is not just a mythological thing. But anyway, it is so... Ready Player One, the trailer for this is just so cool. That's what I wanted to look up quick. Again, I apologize for yawning. I am getting a little tired. But anyway, the trailer basically starts off with the kid explaining everything, which, most trailers usually do. Explaining that he was born in the year 2025. I think it's like, here we go. I didn't even really have to type much. All I had to type in was ready in a Google search. Huh. Go figure. Okay, let's see here. Okay, come on. Okay, it'll be in theaters March 30th, 2018, so that's actually kind of cool. Okay, I'm going to have to... Oh. Come on. Yeah, I know. I just kind of like it when you try clicking on one thing and then you find the link you're actually looking for and you try clicking on that instead and it doesn't work. Apparently, this is also a book. Back in 2011, it's a science fiction novel. I'm going to have to check that out. Okay. So here we go. Ready Player One. Let's see here. Here's the premise for it. It's coming out March 30th, like I said. It's starring Ty Sheridan, Olivia Cook. So, I do apologize for that. I still Cooke, and I was immediately put in the I. My apologies. Ben Mendelsohn, Mark Rylance, Simon Pegg, T.J. Miller. Never heard. This is pretty much, I think, an entire cavalcade of people I've never heard of. So that's kind of bad. But anyway, here's the premise for it. In a dystopian future, much of Earth's population centers have become slum-like cities. To escape their desolation, people engage in the virtual reality world of the Oasis. Ornithotically, anthropocentric, sensory immersive simulation. Yeah, Oasis. It sounds like a much better acronym. Where they can engage in numerous activities for work, education, and entertainment. So we basically plugged ourselves into the Matrix. My God, I knew this day would come. Wade Owen Watts is a teenager from Columbus, Ohio, who frequents the Oasis and attempts to win Anchor's Game, a game created by the recently deceased creator of the Oasis, James Halliday. In search of its Easter egg, the winner is to be granted full ownership of the Oasis and Halliday's $240 billion fortune. Wow. Okay. So I'm kind of getting flashbacks to the Wizard here. While Wade works with several friends from the Oasis to discover Anarok's treasure, the corporate giant Innovative Online Industries, IOI, seriously, that's a stupid acronym, employs a number of players to try to discover the treasure first and seize control of Oasis for themselves. Definitely getting some flashbacks to other movies here. And again, this is a Warner Brothers production, so not exactly unheard of. So, let's see here. Do we have... So I think they said it was like 2045 that the kid supposedly lives in. So it's kind of interesting. But what got me in the trailer, besides the cavalcade of good old school 80s and 90s cheese, was the fact that you got to see the Iron Giant from the movie The Iron Giant. You got to see the DeLorean from Back to the Future, the Tron bike. There was a whole bunch of other things. But what really got me the most in the trailer, and if you've ever watched the episode, I shouldn't even say episode. If you've ever really watched Futurama, you'll know what I'm talking about with this. They got Rush's Tom Sawyer in this. Let that mull in your head for a moment. Tom Sawyer is a song by the music group Rush. And it was featured in an episode of Futurama where Fry asked, what if the entire world was like a video game? And Fry was basically tasked with destroying the aliens, and he was quoted as saying, it's like a Friday or Saturday night, I got no date, a bottle of Shasta, and my All Rush mixtape. Let's rock. And all you heard was Tom Sawyer as he's blasting aliens in the game, in the virtual arcade game. And I'm like, cool. Then every single time I play like a shooter game or a racing game or an action game or a FPS game, I'm instantly playing Tom Sawyer in the back of my mind's playing. And I'm going, okay. So as I'm listening to this trailer and I'm like watching this action scene, I'm like, yeah, they got a good song in this. They got Rush's Tom Sawyer in this. They dragged it into this, but it fits. It fits. It's psyching me up for it. I mean, what I'm afraid of, though, is, like I said, this has actors and actresses that I don't know about. I've never heard of any of them. So that kind of worries me for a little bit. So this is like a cavalcade, a who's who of I would say B-list actors in what seems like an A-list movie. And I really mean that. It does seem like nothing but B-list actors, because I've never heard of them, or even C-list actors and actresses that are in this. I've never heard of them, and this seems like an A-list type movie. Like, this should be the A-rank movie, yet you're getting B and C-rank characters to play in this, or B and C-rank actors and actresses to play. And that's what worries me. But at the same time, when you hear Rush's Tom Sawyer, and you see all this nostalgic cheese from the 80s and the 90s, you just got to admire it. But the premise that they're fighting to find the treasure and inherit not only the virtual reality that they come to call home, was, let's face it, who isn't connected to a damn computer nowadays? I got a tablet, I got a laptop, there's a desktop, where I live. My mom's got a laptop, I got a flip phone. I don't own a smartphone, I got a flip phone. So, yeah, I'm plugged in, at least somehow, some way. And it's just kind of funny that, oh, yeah, but it's like we're plugging ourselves into the Matrix, where you can do stuff for work, education. But something else, though, in the movie is like, unless he goes and makes a comment about living in the stacks, which are basically trailers that are, like, literally shoved into rebarred frames. Which, first off, worries me, because, like, hey, if somebody starts getting, busy in there, like, let's say all of a sudden you have a few too many one night, you come home and, you kind of want to work on kid number 2 or kid number 1. And you start doing the no-no cha-cha, the horizontal polka, the dance with no pants. You know what I mean. You bring it in the noise, bring it in the funk. Let's say you want to do that. And what worries me about the imagery of that is that, okay, so you have a tendency to possibly knock your home off the stacks, and yeah, screw starting a family, you're gonna die. Because I guarantee you, if you're living pretty high up, there's got to be an altitude where they make sex illegal. Because you can easily just fall right off and go, ah! And all of a sudden you just hear them whizzing by your window. It's like, ah! What was that? Oh, I guess the Jeffries were trying to have sex. Poor bastards. Hey, honey, maybe we can get a little higher up this time. But that's the only thing about the stacks, at least it's shown in the movie, in the trailer, that bothers me. But otherwise, I'm looking forward to this, because I'm guessing 90% of this movie is going to take place inside the virtual world, which would make sense. Possibly 10% existing outside in the real world, because it kind of looks like they half-assed the real-world stuff and are putting a tremendous amount of their budget, however much it is, I didn't see that, into the virtual world. So, and you have the licenses. But then again, it's Warner Brothers, so a lot of that stuff Warner Brothers already owns the rights to. They just got to pull it out of storage, dust off the mothballs, and slap it on the big screen again, like the Iron Giant and a few other things. So it's really cool. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I want to see it. So that should say something. I want to see it. And if I want to see it, that's a good thing. I want to drop some money on that. I want to go see that. Probably the first week it even comes out, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. When is March 30th next year? Let me check that out. I know it's going to be the last Friday of the month. Okay, let's see here. Hope I go the other way. Uh-oh. Too many. Yeah, it's the last Friday in March. Huh, that sounds kind of interesting. Maybe I'll try to go see that. But either way, sounds pretty cool. So, check out Ready Player One. Check out the trailer now on YouTube and all other places like Daily Motion. Yeah, I recommend it. It looks pretty cool. Haruhi Suzumiya. Yes, the name should scream to any true otaku fan. Well, if you're a Haruhiist, and I never liked that name. I never liked that. I've seen the series. I've seen the Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, which is the standalone movie. All of them are... The entire series is impressive. I mean, the ending for the series kind of sucks, but then the movie kind of sums it all up in one nice, beautiful fold. But anyway, if you live in Western Japan, good news! The real-life Mecha Holy of Haruhi Suzumiya Calf is reopening. So, this is what it is. With more and more anime set in real-life locations, no shit, the concept of visiting those locations on a so-called anime pilgrimage is a pretty familiar one to fans in Japan. First off, I'd like to pause here for a moment. There's an anime pilgrimage? That's just one more reason for me to want to go to Japan. I mean, my grandfather is telling me, well, you got to make sure you can live in those tiny apartments. You got to lose some weight so you can fit in those tiny apartments. Please, if it means the fact that I can go on an anime pilgrimage and be around one of the greatest places that's set in a tremendous amount of shows I like to watch, like Super Sentai series, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, Gridman, if it means I can be around those places that fill the stuff that I watch with joy, I don't care if they shove me in a cardboard box. Hell, it's going to be fun. But anyway, the practice wasn't quite as common 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago, and in some places in Japan, being an anime fan is still shunned upon. Just food for thought on that. The owners of a cafe in Hyogo, Western Japan, were a bit confused when their cafe was suddenly flooded with camera-wielding anime fans. I wouldn't be confused. I would be, dear God, we're about to make some money. Honey, call the kids. They're going to be going to college. If you get a whole crap ton of people coming to your calf, first off, I wouldn't care if they're anime fans. You're getting business. They're going to want to buy something. That's money. That's what I would be looking at any deity that might be listening and going, thank you. And then taking their money and taking their orders. But as it turns out, that cafe called Cafe Dream had unwittingly served as the inspiration for the one where Haruhi and pals meet up in the popular light novel turned anime, The Mecha Holy of Haruhi Suzumiya. So I have to admit, it's in my top 10 favorite anime series. I gotta do like a top 10 list or something. There's a lot of anime I like, and there's a lot of them that could be in the top 10. Nagaru Tanigawa, who wrote the original novels, was apparently a frequent visitor to the cafe. Cafe Dream was owned by married couple Akiko and Kenichi Hosumi. But when Kenichi passed away, Akiko wasn't sure if she could manage the cafe by herself. Reports the... I can't pronounce that one. I'm trying. Asahi Shinbun. The hell that is. I guess in a newspaper. But thanks to the encouragement of staff members and so-called Haruhiists, stupid name, by the way, the cafe reopened this past June 1st. So it's pretty cool. So next time you are planning a trip over to Western Japan, check out Cafe Dream. And make sure you add it to your itinerary for your anime pilgrimage through Western Japan. Or through Japan, even. Personally, I'd like to see Mount Fuji. I really would. I'd like to see Mount Fuji. I'd like to see... I know one. This is a lot of the places I'd like to... Since we're on this topic, let me put this up. Because you want to do an anime pilgrimage, okay, I'll add that one to my list. I got Mount Fuji, because that's one that I'd really like to see. The pictures do not do that thing justice. I'd like to see and I know it does exist, I've seen it in pictures, in real life pictures, the backdrop, the building that is used in so many anime series. It was in Digimon. It was the one that had the round circular portion that War Greymon kicked into Venomiotismon. I'd love to see that building. I would love to see the Tokyo Tower. There's just a lot of stuff over there I'd really like to see. But those are just some of the many. So, yeah, I would be looking forward to that. Anime pilgrimage? That's one more reason for me to want to go to Japan. Hi, everybody. This is Andrew Rhodes from the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. I'm inviting you to check out my podcast every single week here on YouTube. I talk about articles throughout the week that have to deal with anime, manga, video games, technology, and movies. All of which I usually read back the article, then give you my thoughts and opinions on them included. Not to mention some humor now and then. Occasionally I have a special guest with me, Professor Sherman Klump, and otherwise I'm by myself. So if you're interested in anime, manga, movies, technology, or video games, come check out the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. New episodes are uploaded every Sunday, only on YouTube. Well, another reason to like Japan, at least the metro system in Japan anyway, Shonen Jump creates original posters for each of Tokyo Metro's 171 stations. Yep. Now, Shonen Jump's magazine is turning 50 this year, and it's no longer a print magazine here in the U.S. We have to be stuck with Shonen Jump Alpha, which I do not subscribe to because I'm not going to pay it with a credit card. You miserable bastards can kiss my ass. I like the print magazine because it was something I could hold in my hand. In fact, I still have my collection of print magazines, you bastards. So you can, like I said, you can bite me and bite me hard because they may be worthless, but guess what? At least I'll be able to read them 50 years from now. You want to know why? Because you archive that stuff for like a year, and then it's gone. But anyway, since it's turning 50 this year, they're celebrating by giving Tokyo commuters something to look forward to in the morning. Like seeing the bums peeing on the train cars isn't good enough. Oh, I'm sorry, that's in New York. My apologies. I don't know if they do that in Japan. I know it's something that's usually done in New York. But anyway, yeah, it's in the morning. It's a Monday morning. I don't feel like going to school. I don't feel like going to work. I don't feel like going to my classes. And all of a sudden, you're going to see something that's going to brighten up your day. Yes. You're going to finally notice the girl next to you, and you're going to start repopulating Japan. Who knows? But anyway, the magazine has created unique posters for each stop on the Tokyo Metro subway line. And that's a total of 171 stations. The posters, which will be displayed, sorry about that, from July 15th to August 31st, depict famous characters and lines from Jump's 50-year history. In addition to, okay, now the chance. Oh yeah, in addition to the 171 posters, I thought it was 100. My apologies. I'm a little more tired than I thought. Yes. So in addition to the 171 posters, one for each of the 171 stations, Shonen Jump is also holding a stamp rally at 20 Tokyo Metro stations. This kind of sounds familiar for some reason. But don't worry, if you're not in Japan, or you simply don't want to trek to all 171 stations, the Japanese version of Huffington Post has a gallery of each poster with pages split up by train line. It's not exactly a bad thing. Incredibly, though, the station near Osa, Japan, HQ, features Akira Toriyama's Dr. Slump. It's incidentally, by the way. So that's actually kind of cool. Dr. Slump's one of those weird shows. I'm not really familiar with it. But anyway, that's kind of neat. You know, that's cool. So yeah, check it out. I'm pretty sure if you Google search, you can find them. You know, here. You know, I got a little bit of time. Let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Let's see if I can't find, okay, let's see here. Tokyo. Alright, come on, Google. Come on, Google. Come on, Google. Okay, come on, Google. Google loaded up. I'm just trying to find the actual link that I need here. Let's see, I'm going back to where I got the article from, which, by the way, was OtakuUSAMagazine.com, where I find a lot of my articles. And by the way, Otaku USA Magazine is really great to have if you're an Otaku fan. There's some free publicity for them. Okay, it's taking an eternity to load. Damn it. I thought I fixed that. Oh, well. I mean, it's kind of... Oh, that's cool. You can actually, yeah. It kind of sucks when you accidentally push the wrong thing here. Try that. Trying a different idea here. See if I can't find it somehow, some way. Yeah, okay. Apparently I can't find it just Google searching it. This kind of sucks. I mean, it just keeps taking me back to the Otaku USA article, but for some reason, Otaku USA is giving me a hard time loading up tonight. I don't know why. I didn't do anything to it. Apparently I must have in a past life. I don't know. But it's just fighting me today. Like everything else. But anyway, it's kind of cool. I mean, there was a picture in the article of Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Or I should say Dragon Ball, because over there's no Z. It's just Dragon Ball. But at least the manga. Okay, here we go. Got it to load up. Finally. Hallelujah. Alright, let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, it says go down. Plus thing here, and okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. I'm on the Huffington Post Japanese site. Finally! Okay, now I got it to work. Alright. Yes. See, this was really great. It's live on the podcast. Live on the podcast. And it's loading. And it's loading, and it's loading, and it's loading. And it's loading, 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 and it's pissing me off, and it's bothering me, and it's driving me nuts. And why the hell won't it load faster? Alright, I kind of have an idea that might load it faster. I just don't want to do it. But alright, let me give it a second here. See if that works. I have a wireless mouse, and it seems that when I use it, nothing wants to load up right. So let me try that. See if that makes a difference. Probably not, because everybody's probably looking at this like I want to. Okay, well, I can't get it to load up, but if you go to OtakuUSAMagazine.com, look up the article. Basically, just type in what I did in Google. That was Tokyo Metro line poster jump. And it'll take you to the first result will be the Otaku USA article. Click on that. Go down to the bottom. It says source HuffingtonPost.jp. So you can go to there. And it should give you the thing. Oh, okay, now it's starting to load up. It's taking a long time. Why is it taking so long to load up one website? That's kind of sad here. Oh, but yeah, this is kind of cool. I mean, like I said, in the thing, I mean, there was a picture, like a whole bunch of Jump characters, what have you. So it is something that's kind of interesting. You won't hear me argue that. I think it's kind of cool. And it's definitely something that's unique. I mean, let's face it, this is Japan. It's unique to see this. So that's really not a bad thing. Okay, I got the page to load up. Okay, I can't pronounce any of the stuff. I can't read any of the kanji, but some of the pictures, they are kind of cool. So yeah, I'll try to remember to leave a link in the description of the podcast. You can go check it out. But just in case I don't, it's www.huffingtonpost.jp. Or, like I said, just Google search Tokyo Metro line poster jump, and it should pop up. So I'm not getting all of them popping up here, but some of them are actually kind of cool. At least the first one here that's started to load up is. Number 3 is not too bad. Number 4 is kind of weird. Number 5 is definitely strange. Okay, here's a Dragon Ball. Okay, no, sorry. MB4. What the hell? Okay, MB04. Okay. MB04 is from Dragon Ball. It's Babidi and Majin Buu standing over a city on the cliffside. Don't ask me what city it is, but that's kind of neat. But yeah, they don't all want to load up. It's going to take probably a long-ass time for them to all load up. Again, it's 171 too, so yeah, it's going to take a while. But anyway, yeah, check it out. If you get a chance, like I said, I will try to leave a copy of the link in the description below to allow you to check it out. But just in case I don't, you can Google search, like I said. But anyway, yeah, check that out if you get a chance to. It's really, the ones that I've seen so far are actually kind of neat. I should try loading this up before the podcast. I'll have to make a note of that for next time. Must load stuff up prior to starting podcast. But yeah, some of these are actually kind of cool. Like I said, I don't know what any of them are except for Dragon Ball. Unless there's like a Naruto one on here or Bleach. Dragon Ball, I know. Yeah, Dragon Ball, I know. That'd be neat if there's like a Yu-Gi-Oh one on here. Okay, there's another Dragon Ball one here. It looks like it's Vegeta. Yeah, it's Vegeta going up against Imperfect Cell. I know that pose anywhere. See, then you had Piccolo sacrificing himself to save Gohan. Yeah, there's just a lot of them on here, but like I said, I can't get them all to load up, and it's only giving me 28 of them, so there are more. But still, that's kind of neat though that they're doing this many posters for the Japanese stuff. Okay, there's one here for Ultimate Muscle, I think. Yeah, I don't know who it is though. Yeah, you got Piccolo sacrificing himself for Gohan, Vegeta, Majin Buu, and Babidi. But yeah, so like I said, some of these shows some of these series I don't know. Okay, yeah, there's a Dr. Slump one here. Don't know who it is either. And that's number 3. Yeah, so either way, like I said, definitely something that's really cool. Check it out if you get a chance to. And yeah, that's really all I got to say on it. Alright, let's talk about Pokemon. Yes, that's right. Pokemon Go had their first real-world event, and it was a disaster. Almost everybody that I've heard of so far has gotten refunds. But in Chicago last weekend, you could hear the chants of, "Fix the game! Fix the game! Fix the game!" on top of boos and jeers. It erupted from thousands of Pokemon Go players in Chicago's Grant Park after the game stopped working for many who had paid and traveled far to be there. First off, I kind of find it weary that, it's first off a game that's free, but you have to pay to participate in something. That's kind of bad. Server outages and bugs plagued Niantic's Pokemon Go at the height of its popularity last summer. And a similar situation occurred early into the game's first ever all-day ticketed event, which, like I said, really concerns me that you're selling tickets to this. Because of the server outage, which began early in the day and were never completely fixed, all roughly 20,000 attendees were given full refunds for their $20 tickets and $100 worth of in-game coins. So, wait a minute. This event costs $120 to walk around, where are they again? Grand Park. $120 just to walk around the park all day and catch Pokemon. Yeah! See some problems there. For starters, you morons have the audacity to charge $120 when you have in-game buying in there. You can do in-app purchases. And you have the balls as big as church bells, I might add, to charge $120! A Niantic spokesperson told Business Insider during the event that the game studio was working with carriers like AT&T and Verizon to direct more coverage to the park. Not all players were affected by the outage, and some carriers, such as T-Mobile, worked better with the game throughout the day. At roughly 11 a.m. local time, at the height of the server outage, Niantic CEO John Hanke addressed players from a stage in the park. He was loudly booed and heckled the moment he stepped on stage. Yep. I guarantee you some middle fingers were probably thrown up in the air too. One person was quoted as saying, "I paid $3,000 for this game." One person in the crowd loudly shouted at Hanke. Pokemon Go offers in-app purchases and is estimated to be the fastest mobile game to reach $1 billion in revenue. First off, you paid $3,000 for a game that's free to download, by the way. So first off, congratulations, you're a moron. I just got a kick out of this. So, the tickets sold out in under 10 minutes. Okay, they were $20 each, and were later resold online for hundreds of dollars. Players from Australia, Europe, and other continents had traveled to Chicago for the event. I kind of call bullshit on that. So besides the ability to catch rare Pokemon that are typically only available in certain parts of the world, Niantic promised attendees that they would have the chance to catch the first ultra-powerful so-called legendary Pokemon at the end of the event. In reality, there was only one regional Pokemon to be found in the hit augmented reality game, Heracross. At the end of the day, Niantic told attendees that they would be automatically awarded one legendary Pokemon named Lugia. Most ticket holders left the park before the event was scheduled to end at 7 p.m. Whoa! But it gets better. Because remember when I mentioned that they were trying to work with Verizon and all that stuff? Yeah, well, Verizon's claiming that they're not responsible. But I'll get into that. So, like I said, nearly 20,000, or roughly 20,000 Pokemon Go players entered Grant Park. They had the same concern, weather reports, thunderstorms, blah, 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 blah. It turned out to be fine. But it's just ironic. As a result, Niantic announced that they will be refunding attendees their admission costs, in addition to crediting them $100 of in-game currency, or Pokecoins. Okay, so you got your $20 back. Oh yeah, and here's $100 worth of Pokecoins. That'll probably buy you 3 incense, if I remember correctly. Because like I said, I have no dog in this fight. I have no investment in this game. I play it for a friend of mine every now and then when she lets me hold her phone. So, yeah, I don't actually play this. Let's see, estimate from Niantic. leading into the event, putting the crowd at around 15 to 20,000 attendees. It's currently unclear, though, whether or not Niantic was offering the refunds automatically or just for those who asked. Niantic did say they would be sending out an email with details to all attendees, so that's pretty cool. But the game simply didn't work. According to reports, within minutes of the first attendees filing into Grand Park, the cell network got shaky. Within 20 minutes of the doors officially opening, every network was down. Yeah. The author of the articles, one of the articles that I found on this, said that they've done their fair share of live blogs over the past decade, so they're used to getting around network congestion and finding some sensible or semblance of signal. There was nothing. If you could get online, Pokemon Go itself was having issues. Tapping a monster to catch it would result in nothing but an error screen, in a particular punch in the gut to many players who traveled far in hopes of completing their Pokedex. As the park was set to spawn some of the game's rarest monsters, you tap an Unknown or a Heracross, usually only available in very specific regions, and certainly not in the middle of Chicago. The game would crash. Meanwhile, real-world logistics issues were abundant. Hours before the event started, the line stretched around the block. 3 hours later, much of the line remained outside. Massive displays meant to show which teams were ruling. The in-park gyms were instead simply turned off. Yeah, because the event backfired in your face. When Niantic's John Henke took the stage, like I said, he was greeted with many chanting, "Fix the game! We can't play! Fix your game! We can't play!" In all honesty, if I probably would be one of the dumb schmucks that would be there, I probably would have been chanting the same thing. Some more aggressive attendees approached the stage to personally share/shout their discontent. At 2 p.m. Central Time, Niantic plans to continue with the event in the agenda. At least that's what had happened. But here's the best part. Now, this came out, and I've been checking on this all throughout the week. But here's the kicker on this, okay? Niantic is breaking its silence after the Pokemon Go fiasco, and they're blaming network providers. John Henke, which I don't even believe I'm pronouncing that right, it's Hanke, talks to disappointed attendees at last Saturday's Pokemon Go event. There was a picture, and it doesn't do it justice. I swear there were people flipping him off in the audience. I would have probably been one of them. When Niantic was once a simple fictional battle between Ash and Team Rocket, quickly subsumed by battle over who's to blame for the failure of the big Pokemon Go event in Chicago. Tuesday's blog post by Niantic CEO John Henke responded to allegations that the game developer had not adequately prepared for Saturday's 20,000-person event, in which was plagued by technical problems that made the game unplayable for many attendees. Last Saturday was not a happy day for us, Henke was quoted saying in his post, but we are committed to listening to that feedback, however harsh, to improve what we do. You have not seen harsh, trust me. We heard boos and shouts from the crowd, Henke noted, describing the crowd's reaction. Oh, you could have heard much worse than that. Niantic did have some server issues, Henke acknowledged, but he said it was mostly inadequate coverage by cell phone providers that led to nagging or inaccessible apps. Here we go. And it's gonna get nasty now, folks. He opened up the floodgates. So what happened? Technical issues with our game software caused client crashes and interfered with gameplay for some users. The gameplay issue was resolved with a server configuration change, and the crashes were also addressed for many but not all users. A more protracted problem was caused by oversaturation of the mobile data networks of some network providers. This caused many attendees to be unable to access Pokemon Go or other internet services. Network congestion also led to a login issue, which affected some users able to access the internet. This lengthy related login issue was addressed with a second Niantic configuration change. So you just tiptoed through the problem to avoid blame on yourself. Continued on by saying, on the pure network access issue, we provided detailed estimates on attendees and required data throughout per user to our event partner who worked with the major carriers to allow them to plan for adequate coverage. Some carriers deployed cellular on wheels, COWs, cows, to extend their capacity. In other cases, the provider deemed them unnecessary based on other infrastructure already in place at the site. Users reported different levels of success with these providers. Wi-Fi was enabled by one provider as a solution which helped some users but not all. Sprint was on site as an official partner, developed a cow, and their network was busy but held up well. Although many players were able to play normally for the majority of the day, many were not. And based on that, we made a number of adjustments to the event plan. In other words, they should have just canceled it. Said, look, we screwed up. We apologize. Go home. Because we f***ed up. This was the first... this is the first comment Niantic has made publicly since the event. Hankey told attendees that they would be refunded their $20 ticket fees and offered $100 in in-app purchases. But it gets better yet, folks. So, Verizon, one of the networks that suffered from major lags, told Business Insider on this past Monday, that it was not responsible for problems at the event. Of course not. The providers weren't responsible. Niantic wasn't responsible. No, it's just the dumb cluckers' faults for going there wanting to catch Pokemon and play a game. A spokesperson for Verizon said that company engineers reported that even when attendees were experiencing issues accessing the game itself, other applications like YouTube worked just fine, which indicated the issues were outside of Verizon's control, like an issue with the game's server itself. T-Mobile, one of the few service providers that didn't have major issues on Saturday, had increased its network capabilities throughout the park in anticipation of the summer events, in addition to launching extended coverage throughout Greater Chicago earlier in spring. Hankey noted in the post that after many attendees left the park, they moved to other parts of the city where cellular networks were less overburdened and continued playing. Together from late Saturday to Sunday, trainers in downtown Chicago participated in more than 69,000 raid battles and captured more than 7.7 million Pokemon, including more than 444,000 legendary Pokemon. It was an amazing sight to behold and is a testament to the love of the game and to the bonds these trainers share with another, Hankey wrote. He said that Niantic planned to go forward with an even bigger event in Yokohama, Japan later this summer. So that's total and utter bullshit. Let's just face it here, folks. Niantic fucked up big time. But instead of accepting it, hiking up their pants, and taking it like a man, like it was said in Real Steel, Niantic, get out here and take your whooping like a man. Don't hide behind some BS company line of, well, we didn't do anything wrong. It was the network's providers. They were the ones that screwed up. There's nothing our servers were running fine. I dealt with issues with Verizon. In fact, we're still having some internet issues with them. I'm having issues yet with the damn Roku. And I can safely say that arguing with customer service is not about the way to go. But you're flat out saying that, yeah, it's Verizon's fault. It's the cellular network's fault. We're not to blame. Our servers were running perfectly fine. So if you're not to blame, the networks aren't to blame, who the fuck's to blame in this? Of course, I I said it earlier. The dumb clucks that decided to go out into the middle of Chicago to catch Pokemon. They should have just stayed home. Oh, there's going to be so many people there. Oh, I don't want to go. But it's a fun game, and it gets me off my ass, and I move around. Yeah, but at the same time, if you can't play the game because everybody's trying to log on and you overload the network, like they did with the first ever voting in American Idol, by the way. Let's harken back to that. It is possible, so it's not entirely unheard of. That being said, coming out with the company line, blaming other people, of course, that's Niantic's business practice. We're not to blame, they are. You're having a problem with Pokemon Go? It's not our problem. You just don't understand how to use the app correctly. Oh, you got hit while walking. You got hit by a car while trying to catch that Pidgey, right? Well, you know, we have a warning at the start of it. It's just your own damn fault for not reading it, not ours. $20, first off, the fee for this. What the fuck were you people thinking? Seriously. Niantic, I think you need to step back, look at your game and go, we have done something incredible. Figure out how to improve it, then, and I mean then, once you work out all of the bugs that it runs smoothly, without having to take a break every 5 seconds to catch and put out another fire, then think about events. Then think about coming out with new Pokemon. Then and only then should you be considering this crap. Until then, until you hit that moment in time, I would not have considered this at all. It was idiotic of you to even think, oh, we're going to do so well this weekend with events. We're going to make so much money off of this. So many people are going to be happy. There could have been muggings over Pokemon. There could have been ass beatings. You should just be happy, first off, that nothing serious happened from this. It's human nature. You gather that many people in one spot, something bad's going to happen. How many morons does it take to screw in a light bulb? I don't know. Ask how many people it takes to beat the crap out of one person. Giant groups like that often lead to bad problems. And not even intentionally. It could just be somebody could just bump into you and say they're sorry. You may not understand them, or they might have an accent that you don't understand. You think that they're insulting you when they're just apologizing for bumping into you. Next thing you know, it's, ballroom blitz and everybody's freaking out. Be happy that they were pissed off and focusing their anger on you. Because if anything bad would have happened, boy, the publicity for that, forget it, your game would have been dead in the water then. Pokemon Go responsible for 700 deaths. Oh wait, that was your first 3 months in business. Oh, dumb schmuck's gonna walk off a cliff. Oh, people got hit by cars. Do not play Pokemon Go while walking or riding. Oh, there was a car accident because the person was playing Pokemon Go. Do not play Pokemon Go while driving. Now, you know, better yet, you're going too fast. This app will now shut itself off until you are no longer going at this excessive speed. Morons, morons, morons! Pokemon Go. The eliminator of our problem in humanity. Humanity's already an entire write-off as a species. Hey, Pokemon Go is already taking care of the common denominator. It's doing the impossible. It's eliminating a problem. Humanity. One stupid person at a time. Oh, God. Maybe the next event will be better. I just personally hope, and I mean this, that if Niantic does this again here in the U.S., they plan it out beforehand, they actually get everything to work, and I don't know, they test it to see if it'll work before they invite all the people there? How do you do that? Gee, I don't know. Why don't you fix up a system to have a simulation of 20,000 people in one area using the same thing at the same time and seeing if your system and if the networks can handle it. Simple. How you couldn't do that is beyond me. But seriously, really, think about your stuff before you do it, Niantic. Think before you do shit. Alrighty, and that's going to do it for me this week with the absolutely completely random podcast, folks. I had a lot of fun being here. I hope you had a lot of fun listening to me talk about stuff that I found throughout the week on the internet. But if you'd like to come up with a topic, or if you have something you think that I would find interesting, you know what? Let me know. Send me an email at acrpodcast@gmail.com or tweet it to me on Twitter at OtakuRoads. If you have any suggestions for ways I can improve the podcast, I'm always looking forward to some. Let me know. Send them to acrpodcast@gmail.com or tweet them to me on Twitter at OtakuRoads. And hey, maybe you'd like to take a chance and sponsor my podcast. Or just get your name out there. I do some free publicity. You never know. Might be something good. Drop me a hint or something. Let me know via email at acrpodcast@gmail.com. And until next week, all I have to say is, Pokemon Go, better soon figure out a way to not go away. Until next time, everybody, I'm Andrew Rhodes, and this has been the Absolutely, Completely Random Podcast. Bye-bye.